So, welcome back everyone. It's my pleasure to moderate the last session of the day. The first presenter is Georgi Kuzmanov. Most of you probably know him. He's the Senior Program Officer at Chips Joint, and he will speak about RISC V in the vehicle of the future. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you, Stefan, for the introduction. So thank you for the opportunity to give this presentation. Again, this time it will be on the Chips JU vision for the vehicle of the future, but it will bear, of course, the focus on RISC V developments, which is appropriate for this audience. So I will put this presentation in the context of two major EU initiatives. This is the European Chips Act and the Automotive Action Plan. Then I will present you our vision for the digital vehicle of the future, with, as I mentioned, with focus on RISC V, and then I will have a short slide on the project's pipeline in these particular domains. So for those of you who are not familiar with the Chips Joint Undertaking and with joint undertakings at European level as a whole, the joint undertakings are public-private partnerships with their own legal identity, having their own governance and their own budget. Chips JU, the Chips Joint Undertaking in particular, was established in September 2023, and its main goal is to implement the first pillar of the European Chips Act. But it also has the mission to continue the good work of the preceding joint undertakings in the field of electronic components and systems. What is unique about Chips Joint Undertaking is that it was the first joint undertaking, European joint undertaking, which was based on the tripartite partnership model, where the three parties being the European Commission, the participating states, which does not include only EU member states, but it's a wider set of states, and the European industries. The European industries are presented with three industrial associations. You can see them on the right, top right of this slide. This is NAS, industrial association dealing with nanoelectronics. The EPOS, an industrial association dealing with smart systems integration. And INSIGHT, this is an industrial association dealing with electronic components and systems for cyber-physical systems. So the European Chips Act has its three pillars here. As I already mentioned, the Chips Joint Undertaking has the mission to implement, in particular, Pillar 1. I will not go in more detail for our program, as I did it, many of you were attending this event last year, I did much more extensive presentation of the Chips Joint Undertaking. This time I will focus more on our activities in the domain of the vehicle of the future, digital vehicle of the future. And with that respect, I would like to briefly present you another important activity, another important action or initiative by the European Commission, which is the so-called Automotive Action Plan, which was a result of a strategic dialogue that took place in a very intensive and short period in the beginning of this year. So it was kicked off in January 30th, 2025, under the leadership of President von der Leyen, and it was concluded by March 3rd. During this strategic dialogue, which was between the European Commission and representatives of European automotive industry, there was one very important meeting on February 17th with 5 commissioners and 26 participants, both from the Commission and from the representatives from the automotive industry in particular, which focused on 4 topics: on software-defined vehicle, on automotive, hardware and critical technologies, on data access and pooling, and on regulatory simplification. Part of this meeting was also handing over of a declaration to collaborate on the EU software-defined vehicle, which was signed by 15 European OEMs, Tier 1 suppliers, as well as the German, French, and Italian automotive associations. The result of this strategic dialogue was the publication of the Action Plan for Automotive in 5 chapters in March 5th this year. And Chips JU, not coming by surprise, at least not for us, is designated a key role in implementing this automotive action plan as well. In the next slides, I'll show you a bit of the prehistory, a bit of the background work that has been done and that qualified actually Chips JU to be the one of the key implementers of this action plan. So what is the vision of Chips Joint Undertaking regarding the vehicle of the future? We see this as a holistic technology stack spanning from lowest levels of hardware, going through a certain so-called hardware abstraction layer that is basically the interface to the software part or the software-defined vehicle. This entire stack requires, of course, appropriate governance, a certain coordination, and also we need a certain set of tools that would support us for proper system integration. Needless to say that such an abstraction, such a layered abstraction structure allows software developers to focus on the software development and hardware engineers to focus on the hardware with proper communication through the hardware abstraction layer. So in our activities, being focused and introducing so-called focus topics in our program in 2023, we first appointed a consortium called Federate to carry out the coordination and support actions related to the development of the complete technology stack of the vehicle of the future. Shortly after that, we have also awarded another action, another project called Hope for SDV later in 2023, which is dealing with the development of the hardware abstraction layer. The third focused call was initiated in 2024, and one project called Shift to SDV has been invited for negotiations. The negotiations are at their final stage and the contract is about to be signed. So that's so far what we have done in the field of software-defined vehicle, on the software part of the vehicle of the future. Still, what is missing on that part are the system integration tools, and now we have in 2025 a new call for the automotive system integration topic, and in particular it's formulated towards AI-assisted methods and tools for software-defined vehicle engineering automation. That's it on the software part. On the hardware part, we have made a strategic choice also to focus on RISC V as a core processor for the developments. With that respect, in 2024, we had a call on the for the automotive hardware platform, specifically addressing RISC V processors. And one action called Rigoletto has been invited, and just like the shift to SDV action is at an advanced stage of negotiation about to be signed. What is new in calls 2025? We have actually two calls in that respect. One is for RISC V automotive hardware platform, and another is for heterogeneous integration for high-performance automotive computing. These two calls are formulated in such a way that the potentially awarded actions are expected to collaborate closely to each other. And I'll spend a bit more time with my next slide on the specific RISC V activities which are related to the automotive domain. So, again, the vision here was to set up a series of linked actions on RISC V, gradually going from medium towards higher technology readiness level. The idea was that all these actions altogether will be first communicating with each other, and then also contributing to a shared open source RISC-V IP repository containing foundational libraries for general purpose processing or specialized libraries for application specific processors, as well as reference system software and tools. On top of this open source repository, we also envision limited but necessary inclusion of certain proprietary IPs, because our ultimate ambition and goal is actually to provide as close to market and developments which meet all industry standards and all industrial requirements. So with the activities on RISC-V by Chips.ju started earlier actually than the software-defined vehicle activities. We started by, let's call it like this, picking up the low-hanging fruits with a more general purpose activity in the which was is being implemented by the Tristan project with a call from 2021, followed up with a project called Isolde. Both these projects have been already widely introduced here in front of this audience. There are posters, there were also presentations, so I guess most of you are already familiar with them. So Isolde being more towards customization of RISC-V developments. And in 2024, we already had a further focus on automotive processors. So for that, Rigoletto, as I mentioned, another action was invited for grant agreement signature. And what is next is going even beyond the processors. And the call for 2025 is for RISC-V automotive hardware platform. And here we expect not only high TRL developments of the processors, but we also expect to have delivered chiplet-based solutions, including tape-outs, and going towards a RISC-based platform and entire ecosystem, including tools, by the way. So a few words about the timeline and of the budget of these activities. As you see, we started in 2021, so we are already in the 5th year of the development. On the RISC-V activities started with first with the budgets of Tristan and Rigoletto in the order of 54 and 39 million respectively. Then we had altogether, almost with the introduction of the CHIPS Act, we also introduced the SDV activities with the Federate Whole 4 SDV projects launched in early 2024. And we are currently having shift to SDV, the projects which are focusing on the framework for the SDV, including middleware, operating systems, and other services. software services, as well as the RISC V processors for automotive, that is the Rigoletto activity. The total investment so far, both on the software-defined vehicle and RISC V combined, amounts to EU funding of 84 million and national co-funding of about the same amount, another 80 million, so for a total cost of close to 300 million. For work program 2025, we have planned projects, and you can see the yellow highlighted activities there, for a total cost of 400 million. That includes EU funding of 120 million and a commensurate national funding as well. So you can see that so far the investment in the SDV plus RISC V by focus topics only, and I want to emphasize this is about the focus topics only by the Chips JU, amounts to close to 700 million euro. This amount does not include a series of other activities which are part of the general calls of the Chips JU, which also consider RISC V developments as well as developments in the field of the software-defined vehicle. So this brings me to the conclusion of my talk. I would like to highlight a few points. First, that Chips JU is playing indeed a key role in implementing not one, but two important EU initiatives, the European Chips Act and the Automotive Action Plan. Then I would like to highlight the advantages of the tripartite model that Chips JU is exploiting, which leverages EU public and private resources and funding for higher impact at the European scale. In particular, in the context of this call for higher impact for the European automotive industry. Our ambitions at Chips JU is to be also a key driver in promoting and establishing RISC V as the architectural base for further development of hardware platform, in particular tailored to automotive industry, which is suggested, of course, by the focus of our calls. The top-down approach itself, using focus topics, consolidates prior efforts both on the software-defined vehicle as well as on RISC V based design across the entire technology stack of the digital vehicle of the future. And that includes system integration, but also computer architecture, microarchitectural extensions, accelerators, chiplets, tape outs, but also tools, software support, middleware, etc. Finally, the bottom-up Chips JU activities are also contributing to the global picture. There is a lot of work that has been done for more than a decade via the different joint undertakings preceding Chips JU. And there is also a critical mass of knowledge and a critical mass of expertise within our projects that is accumulated that would also potentially increase the impact of our activities for the European industry, in particular the automotive one. And that concludes my talk. Thank you for your attention.
Thank you very much. I think we have time for one question, if there's any. Jérôme.
Your talk was about automotive. Will Chips JU support the other verticals in the upcoming calls?
Thank you for the question. Indeed, the idea of the talk was to focus on automotive, But we are also already focusing on other verticals in ChipsGU and also using RISC V. And an example of this is the Isolde project, where we have already, where the main goal is to work on the customization of the RISC V architecture. And we have, I think there was also already a presentation on that, where presented the different domains, the difficult verticals which are addressed by Isolde. It's not only by Isolde, as I mentioned, we also have other projects that are following the general strategic research and innovation agenda, where we have RISC V developments with different use cases addressing different verticals. So, of course, it was a bit outside the scope of this presentation. That's why I did not pay attention on that particular aspect, but thank you for the question.
Thank you very much. So let's thank Georgi again. You're around the evening, so people can ask you more questions. Thank you.
Thank you.